Hey guys, it's Kevin and the Smarter for the series premiere of The Comedians, the new show on FX that premiered tonight, and I was really looking forward to this show. I mean, it just seemed like a really cool idea overall, just having Billy Crystal and Josh Gad play themselves, and it just seemed like it was going to be a really fun idea. I've always been very interested in it ever since I saw the preview for it. I was really looking forward to it, and it did not disappoint. The Comedians is absolutely hilarious, and I was very happy by that because I was worried that it was going to not be as funny as it looked like it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a disappointment, but it really is just as funny as they advertised it, and honestly, I could see it's becoming one of the funniest shows on TV. I really do. I mean, just the idea of it is great. Let's get to the plot of The Comedians because I love the plot of this show. Now, of course, I will not be reviewing the show individually because it's a comedy and there's not really. I'm gonna review it as a season when it's done, but I'm reviewing the premiere and I will review the season when it's done, just so you guys know, because I'm definitely sticking with the show. I know that already. I'm sticking with the show. I'm not sticking with Big Time in Hollywood, Florida. I haven't watched a single episode since the first episode, and I don't plan on it. So unlike that, this show really does work. And let's get to the plot of The Comedians, because that's one of the things that intrigued me overall, just the plot of it. Basically, Billy Crystal and Josh Gad, they play themselves in this show. And Billy Crystal is basically Billy Crystal in real life. You know, he hasn't had a big hit in a few years, and he wants to make this big comeback show, this late night sketch show called The Billy and Billy Show, where he literally just makes fun of himself and things like that, but they don't think it's a good idea. They don't think that people are really going to like it because kids aren't aware of who Billy Crystal is, and all they really think of when they think of Billy Crystal is just, him and Monsters Inc. So they decided to basically pair him up with Josh Gad because, Josh Gad's up and coming, and they feel like he would be a bigger hit with people. And at first it seems like these two are gonna really interact and be really good friends, but we start to see that these two hate each other, and it's basically just about can these two work together, can they make a successful sketch show, and that's the plot of The Comedians. And this show is so fucking funny. Everything about it is so funny. And I'm gonna explain what really works about the show. First of all, I'm gonna get to the acting really quickly. Now, I'm not going to talk about the supporting characters because there's nothing to say about them. They're all really good. I mean, Josh Gad has this love interest in there. There's this really funny person that plays a producer. They're really funny overall. Everyone's really great in the show. But right off the bat, Billy Crystal and Josh Gad work great together. They're both extremely funny in this show. Neither of them feel like, neither of them are feeling like they're overdoing it. No, they are playing themselves, and I love that. That's something that I love about the show is that the fact that they are playing themselves because they're playing. It's kind of like This Is the End, where they're playing over exaggerated versions of themselves. Billy Crystal, he sees himself as this really funny comedian who wants to really just do things on his own, doesn't really want to work with anyone, and he can be funny, but the thing he doesn't realize is that he's not really funny anymore. He's not really a hit with people anymore. And Josh Gad really makes him realize that, and I love the way they did that. I love that they weren't afraid to make fun of themselves. And some of the funniest scenes in the show, though, are the behind the scenes interviews because it's actually a mockumentary where sometimes they will interview them. Just hearing Josh Gad's thoughts on Billy Crystal are hilarious when we see that he doesn't trust him and that he doesn't think that he's funny and that he doesn't want anything to do with him. I really like that overall. I think his reactions are really funny. I definitely really enjoyed that. Um, Best part of the show, though, is the writing. The writing is so good to this show because there's not a single joke that was not funny. Very early in the shows, there's this great joke where Billy Crystal parodies When Harry Met Sally, and I love that he did that. Just the fact that he was in When Harry Met Sally and he wasn't afraid to make fun of himself in that, I thought was hilarious. Because, yeah, that's one of his most famous movies, and that's something that most people think of him in, but a lot of people nowadays wouldn't really know that movie, and I like that they reference that Billy Crystal, a lot of people don't really know nowadays. I mean, Josh Gad basically puts it simple when he says his mother is a big fan of him. I thought that was really funny when he said that, and that he talks about how Billy Crystal should be on Broadway and that he knows he hosted the Oscars and things like that. And they even talk about how Josh Gad looks like a young Billy Crystal, which I thought was really funny as well. I definitely really enjoyed that. One of the things I love about Josh Gad's character is that he's very overconfident, definitely. He's very overconfident, but he's worried about Billy Crystal as well. And the way they play with that, I think, is really funny overall. Because, he is really overconfident. He thinks he's a really successful guy, which he is a very successful guy, but he's really worried that Billy Crystal is going to steal steal some of his thunder, and I just love that. I love the tension between the two, definitely. There's a great scene toward the end where they're literally arguing over who put a sketch in the show, and it's so funny. It's one of the funniest scenes in the episode, and just the second that these two meet, you think that they're going to be really good friends, you think that they're going to interact really well, but no, they are definitely enemies, and I mean, they're going to definitely eventually work together, but for right now, they do not like each other. They're not going to work well together, and I just can't wait to see what sort of shenanigans these two get in. It's so funny to watch, and I loved it. I love seeing the shenanigans that these two get in. The directing is great to this show, definitely. They set a perfect tone. I mean, the tone of this show is just really, really meta. If you don't know what meta means, meta is when they know they're in a TV show. I mean, they don't break the fourth wall in the show, but they just play themselves. And again, it's a lot. A lot of this reminded me of This Is the End, where they're not afraid to make fun of themselves. They're not afraid to poke or to poke fun at things. They're one of the funniest jokes is with Josh Gad when he walks in, and one of the people there mistake him for Jonah Hill, and it's so funny because yeah, they do sound the same. Yeah, they do look alike, and I love that they made fun of that because honestly, they do look the same. They do look alike, and I love that they poked fun of that because that was one of the funniest moments of the show. Just little things like that I thought was really funny overall, and just every joke works. As I said, every joke works. Nothing felt forced. Nothing felt out of place. I mean, I was complaining in Big Time Hollywood 4 that has a lot of tone changes. This does not have that. This has one consistent tone, and that tone is that it's just a fun show. It really is. There's nothing serious about this show, which I love. I love that there's nothing serious about it. There's a scene where he talks about like how like his mother died or something like that, and he ends up laughing about it, which I thought was good. They try not to make it too serious, which I think is fun overall, definitely. And you can also tell that they are having so much fun with the show. Everyone in the show is just having a ball. They're definitely having a great time. No one feels like, oh, they're not having a good time. No, everyone feels like they're having a great time with the show, and I can't wait to see what else they contribute because I think that's going to be really fun overall. Definitely, I really do love that. Cinematography, the show is great. And the other thing I love is that within the show is made by FX. It's just so ridiculous that like it's an FX show and the show is made by FX and it's a sketch comedy, and this is of course Billy Crystal's big return to TV, and not only is it his big return to TV, in the show it's supposed to be his big return. It's so funny the way they do that, and the best part about the show is that they play themselves, really. If they did not play themselves, the show would not be nearly as funny as it is. One of the best things they could have done was have these two play themselves. It works so well. It makes the dynamic even better, and it makes us love their characters more because we already know who Billy Crystal and Josh Gad are. We already know that they're really funny. So just to see them work together, I think just works really, really well done, and I think they handled it really well. Now, a lot of people are saying that the show is really stupid and things like that, but honestly, you just gotta think of it as a fun show. You can't think of it as like a really intelligent show, and I'm just gonna think of it as a fun show because that's all this is. It's a fun show, and I really do love it. I think they set the tone really well. I do like a lot of the side. There are some really good side characters I like. Sharon, Billy's wife, who I'm looking forward to seeing more about her. She seems really funny. Um, there's this girl that looks like she might start a relationship with Josh Gad, which I think is gonna be really funny to see. And the biggest thing about the show is can these two just stand each other? And I think it's just really funny the way they do that, definitely. And the production is great in the show as well. The editing is great. The show went by so fast. I mean, I know it's only 33 minutes, but it went by so fast, and I was into it the whole time. There's no part where I was like, this isn't funny, move the joke along, this is not funny. No, everything was so funny, and everything just worked. And there was nothing where I'm like, that's not working, change that right now, it's not funny. No, everything works in this show, and I love that because I didn't think as much would work in the show as it did. No, everything works really well, and that's great because honestly, I could have seen the show failing. I honestly was thinking that I wasn't going to like the show as much as I did, but no, I love it. I think they have a great idea what they're doing, and I can't wait to see the next 9 episodes. What the next 9 episodes have, if they're as funny as this one, I think they can be as funny as this one, and we'll see overall how the show is. Some of the funniest segments so far are the sketches. I think the sketches are going to be some of the biggest highlights of the show. I mean, just the sailor segment alone had me dying. The fact that they didn't know who came up with that and that they were just arguing over it was so funny. I mean, they're arguing over everything, and it's great to see. I love it, and it's just hilarious. I mean, eventually they're going to work together. They're going to love each other. They're going to start some sort of a bromance. I know that's going to happen, but for right now, they hate each other's guts, and it's awesome to watch. But that's basically my review of the first episode. Let me know what you guys think of the show overall. I can see if someone does not like this show. Like, I can understand if someone hates this show. I really can. I mean, I can see if someone thinks, oh, they just did this because Billy Crystal wanted to return the TV. I mean, I can understand that. But to me, I think it worked really well. I don't think that they did anything bad with it. I think that they'd had a good idea, and it really worked really well here. They contributed well to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. Definitely, I think it's a really funny show, and I can't wait to see what the next 9 episodes hold for us. So that's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Which, of course, guys, as I don't know if I told you guys, if you guys have not seen my Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt review, I will be watching the first 2 episodes of Daredevil, and then I will also watch 2 episodes of Bloodline. So those will be up, and also movie reviews. So look forward to that. I might have a movie review up today. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for either a movie review or for my review of the series premiere of Daredevil. So I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.